Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Stacia. A couple things I want to mention. This week, the start of the week, it's now like the back end of the week, but at the start of the week, we had a little bit of an issue on the server where the pack would not start up. It would basically get locked after a restart, it would get locked and wouldn't come back up. So I know Severe messed around with that for a little bit. He ended up sending me just the file, basically just to finish it in single player since I was the only person left, kind of wrapping up here. And so we've now switched over to single player. So I will be just kind of running this while I'm asleep or while I'm away. I got some more canning and stuff to do this weekend. But on the plus side, we are running at 20 TPS, back up to 20 TPS. So that's good. So everything is a little bit more responsive and whatnot. We had gotten the TPS back up, but of course our farming setups kind of killed it for to some degree, and then switching over into single player bumped it back up. Now you will notice I did get some lily pads of fertility made. I just went with a slime spawner, set it up for a very brief period of time, and we were able to craft out the lily pads of fertility. So this is kind of kicking through at this point. It's actually producing quite a bit of essence. It ran for a while on the server, for about 5 days or something before the lockup started happening. So we did get a lot of essence built up in that time. And then I've ran it for a couple days while I was doing some building. You'll notice I did put in the ceiling and started finishing out these. Oh yeah, I didn't put... all the rest of these have their blocks. I must have missed that one. Like the one lone section there, I didn't put the concrete in, or the porcelain. But did go ahead and started bringing all this up and adding a little bit of greenery here, and starting to kind of wrap up the build. Still quite a bit to do, and I did work on the exterior a bit. So we have kind of this section starting to fill out. I still have to do a bit of work on the outside, and since when we're in single player, I am gonna actually build out our windmill and make it look nice. So, and then I've got to finish out the basement. I got to finish the top, the basement, and the outside are the big things, and then I'm probably just going to throw out some decorations, out and around and everything. So I want to get this build all wrapped up nice for the end of the series. So I'm kind of expecting us to have like maybe 3 more episodes, and then kind of a server tour. Well, 3 episodes including this episode. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into what we're going to be doing today. I do have a couple things laid out that I got prepped up. I haven't quite finished it, but I figured we would finish a little bit on camera, because we are going to be, of course, pushing further into our creative items today. So let's go ahead. It's nice actually having a lot of essence, because I was able to stack this up for 64 creative essence, which is actually going to give us quite a bit of creative essence. I think, right? I think it's only 8 per ingot. Yeah, that's still only 8 ingots though, but so many essences. Oh, and I did add more crafters because my 32 that are over here, it just wasn't enough. So, because I was automating some recipes for prepping for this episode. Let me take this. Still only have the single master infusion, but that's okay. Let's go ahead. Boom, there is 64 creative essence. Oh yeah, and then we've got to use it there. It's not that much. I felt like it was a lot, but it may not be that much, so I may still have to be running this a bit while I'm asleep, but that's okay. And then we're going to lay this out right here. And while we're getting the ingots together, well, no, because it's only going to take like a second to get these ingots laid out. Yeah, so we've got 20 creative essence left. So it wasn't actually that much. For some reason, when I'm making a stack of it, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a lot. Like, I'm not going to need any for a little bit. That's not the case. Not the case. Okay, but what we need to do, and this is also the reason my inventory is impeccably clean right now. I'm going to set this right in here for right now. Just so that we kind of keep it on hand. I've still got a bit of essence, though. I think I can do something with that. But we are going to order ourselves nitro energy cells. Now, we are going to need a total of... This is what, 9? Yeah. 32, a half stack of nitro energy cells. Wonderful. So we're going to order ourselves... I don't think I'm going to have enough for this, right? Like, if I go to order that, we are going to be short 13,000 ebony substance. Okay, that's fine. Let's drop it down in that case to like 10. That way we can go ahead and at least get it running. Oh, I thought I had enough demonic slates ordered, but I did not. Let me go ahead and order some. Which actually the demonic slates I had ordered, that could have been from the time that I did lose after the server kind of started locking up. Because I did lose a little bit of stuff that I had ordered and done. It wasn't a ton, but it was a little bit. And I had ordered, I think, 400 demonic slates, because I felt like I'd ordered a bunch, and I already had a bunch. And then we are going to get ourselves coal. Lots and lots of coal. Because bear in mind, you can automate ebony substance, sure. But we can also just do this. Pop out to the enviro miners, and then just control Q, oh no, I'm sorry, shift, control shift, there we go, boom. It's been a little while since I've done that, and then we can change all that over. So it's going to take a few trips to be sure, but it's a whole lot faster at the same time than it having to craft, because the recipe for this is just, well, no, it's not that, is it? It's for the ebony psi metal, we can craft that. But it's HLP graphite, nocturnal powder, neither of which are actually that bad. That's just coke dust. But I don't know. I mean, I can craft so much of this like in a split second. I'll tell you what, even better. Let's take this. Both of these. This is something I had ran for kind of partial automation early on, back when we needed coke dust. Let's get ourselves an export bus, and we're just going to set this up like right here. Oh, oops. And we're going to say export coal, full acceleration, and then we can make this just a little bit faster. An ender pouch, and I think we already have ebony substance going over in here, I want to say. No, up here. We do. So what I'm going to do, let's pop down right here, and then let's take this and shift right click on the ender chest on the very middle, like where we put the diamonds, and that way it's going to link us over to that, and that way I can just dump our ebony substance into there, and this will just make our lives a little bit easier, because I can just pop into the end and like one time and just craft up a whole bunch of this stuff. So there we go. Give me all of that. Boom. And then we can just dump it into the ender pouch. And then this is already filled back up. And we can pretty much just mass craft this stuff. And actually, it looks like we don't have this automatically pulling out, so I am going to get a 4K should be fine. And that way we can add this to our system over here. So we're going to say ebony substance, and then we'll just name it ebony substance. And we'll just toss it into there. And that's going to start pumping out into that disk drive. And then I should be able to fill this back up now and get back to crafting. Probably not the most exciting thing, of course, but honestly, I don't mind doing it manual. And especially with the fact that this pack, most of the endgame is literally AFK endgame. for just getting essences and stuff like that. So, you know, I'm going to be spending time on here anyways. Though, we're not going to need too much more of this after this craft. Just getting all those nitro cells is actually quite a bit of ebony substance. So, this is what, going to be like 2,000 every time. So, we've actually probably have enough. But in my opinion, it's no longer than if we were to tell it to craft and we had to wait on it. Even if we had a really strong power setup, running through 13,000 ebony substance, you know, it's going to take a little while, no matter how you have it automated. So this is probably much faster. So, because we can just get a whole, it's basically a full inventory of this in one go. Alright, so let's see, how much ebony substance do we now have at this point? Because it's probably going to be a bunch. 21,000. Okay. And what is it? Demonic slates. Of course it's doing demonic slates. But those are just about done. That's 32. It's just a whole lot of blood. And with the consumption only being 20 LP, it just takes a while. Tails slates work quite a bit different. I mean, they're still crafted in the blood altar, but they're not. They don't stack onto each other. So, you know, a tier 1 doesn't make a tier 2, which doesn't make a tier 3, which doesn't make a tier 4, and so on. And consumptions are quite a bit higher, so it's not so much waiting on that. Alright, so it's crafting hardened at the moment. And basics. A few basics. There we go. Now it's starting to finish these out. I actually think I have them. I'm not sure. I may. Well, it's not gonna matter because we're gonna be done crafting this soon enough. But I'm not for sure if I have them. Yeah, all of these are being ran through the same molecular assembler. So that's part of the problem, especially since I only have 2 molecular assemblers per interface. You know, that doesn't help things either. But it has finished them. Now it's just gonna be crafting a literal ton of demonic slates at this point. But we do have those. And I'm going to go ahead and just toss them in. Woo! Okay, I got our last nitro cells ordered. And after I waited till those demonic slates were done. And I thought I was recording, but I wasn't. But we got 22 of those ordered. And I had been recording, but I felt like it was a little bit too grumbly, and I didn't want to be that grumbly, but it was kind of that sudden moment of, oh my gosh, this is not good. This is not good for like my sanity. If we take a look, I didn't realize how bad this actually was going to be and how unfun this was actually going to be. There was literally nothing for the creative vending upgrade that we haven't already done, except maybe adding a couple plants to our sylph and setting up a combination crafter. That's it. Which the combination crafter is whatever. You pump in power, you put items on pedestals. It's really, really easy to automate. We'll automate, you know, we would automate it with XNet. So that's kind of just whatever thing. The ultimate solar panel is not a problem. The energy condenser, it's not terrible. These are cheap. All this is cheap. 2 Uaterium pearls, not that bad. Player transmitters are easy. ME chest, Supreme Indistus pearl, Uaterium, and beyond that, it's all simple stuff. And all of this is easy. To be honest, I don't even mind the Uaterium because, you know, we scaled out our essence farm a bit. I've got plenty of this stuff coming in. I could order just tons of this stuff. And I had my nitro sped up, but then when the server went down, and I got the single player file and had to go back, I lost a little bit of time, and that's when I had set up my nitros to speed up Uaterium. But it's no big deal. You know, just throw down more nitro relays. But beyond that, all this stuff super easy to do for that. The Cosmic Anime Dinner, we would probably have to add a couple crops to our sylph, but beyond that, it's nothing. More Supreme Indistus pearls, Uaterium pearls, some creative essences, whatever. Ultimate Induction Provider, Antimatter, we've got all that. Ultimate Singularity is not a problem. But then, Then I actually started looking through this and realizing how bad this was going to be on essences. Because it takes like 5,000 essence to make like 4 ingots, right? 4 ultimate ingots. It's horrendous. It's actually horrendous. And I hate compression crafting in game. I don't know why that's a thing. You know, it was a thing in 1.7 with quintuple compressed cobblestone. Everything was quintuple compressed cobblestone. And a little bit with mystical agriculture essences. And for some reason, in 1.12 and onwards, mystical agriculture essences are just so popular. Like, it's the best way to do in-game. And I don't know why. It's literally a farm. We could scale out our farm. We've done that in other series, like Divine Journey. We could scale it out to where it makes just a ridiculous amount of insanium. But the problem with that on here is TPS. As we scale out, our TPS is going to drop and drop and drop, thus making everything else slower. So you really don't make up a whole lot of ground. You have to build these ridiculous farms, just farming crops with extreme tick speed. It's not enjoyable. Of course, the creative chemical tank we've already got. Energy cell we're about to have. Creative fluid tank, it's not that bad. It does take 10 ultimate ingots. That's not that bad, though. This is easy. Even though we haven't done refined storage, it's not bad. Ultimate fluid tanks are simple. All the fluid in this is simple. Reinforced alloy, simple. Luminescence, simple. Shaped card pump, simple. A single singularity. 10 ultimate ingots. Not that bad. The creative energy cell for AE2, though. Ha ha ha! You need a whopping total of 16 ultimate catalysts. Now, that means that you need 4 ultimate components. You need 2 ultimate ingots per component. And then, of course, it's all that. Which means that you're going to need 128 ultimate ingots just for the catalysts on this. Then you need some Uaterium pearls, which, once again, whatever. Ultimate singularities, cosmic anime dinners, all that stuff easy. Zerothium, easy. Black iron slates, easy. And ultimate solar panels, which it's not that bad. We have tier 8s automated. They take a little bit to craft, but it's no biggie. Because this is literally as cheap as you could possibly get. It's just a bunch of nuggets. And dense energy cells are excessively cheap, you know. So there's that. Okay. There is then the Everlasting Guilty Pool, which on its own, Terra Steel, we have infinite of that. Runes, we have all the runes just from killing the Gaia Guardian. You know, there was never really an instance where we needed to automate them in this pack. Overall, not too bad, but you do need a couple ultimate components. It's just 4 ingots. It's no different than anything else. Not that bad. However, you need 2 of them. So there's another 8 ingots. Then, if you take a look at Watch of Flowing Time, not that bad. It does take some Uaterium. Beyond that, not that bad, except we do have to do some Project E, which is excessively boring stuff. Not a mod that I am fond of whatsoever. I've never been fond of it. I don't like the idea behind it. But dark matter blocks, they're not that bad. Easy to set up. So Watch of Flowing Time, no big deal. Now the Philosopher Stone. Okay. Most of this is not too bad. You need some creative essence. You need Uaterium. All this stuff we've pretty much got. But then you need 8 more ultimate catalysts. So you're talking about another stack of ultimate ingots to make the Philosopher Stone. And then a little bit of creative essence and stuff scattered around. And then transmutation table, that's easy. It doesn't consume the Philosopher Stone, so at least it shouldn't consume. It shouldn't consume the Philosopher Stone. But all in all, I mean, we would have to craft like 3 stacks of mystical ingots or ultimate ingots, which not a problem. None of this stuff is hard to get in mass except insanium, because it takes literally like 5,000 insanium essence to make like 4 ingots. It's awful. It's actually awful. Because, like, you need almost, it's like over half a stack of creative essence just to make 4 ingots. So you're talking about like 3 stacks of ultimate ingots plus quite a bit of creative essence to go in the recipes, and a little bit of other in other places too, just to get the creative vending upgrade, which of course at that point we could just start duplicating all of this. But unless I scale up my farms, which like I said, my TPS will start dropping if I start doing that. There's no other way. And compression crafting, to me, is not a fun mechanic. I don't enjoy it whatsoever. I think it's horrible. I think it should go die in a fire. So, at this point, I do believe that we're going to make the creative energy cell, but I think that's probably going to be it for me. I'm not thrilled about this. I mean, like I said, I could leave my computer running, but you're talking about like a month of letting my computer run, and I just don't care to do that. You know, it's not something that I care to do. And when I'm awake and when I'm on here, I want to be working on something, like physically building something or working on tails. I don't want to be waiting on compression crafts. Like it's not fun to me. So I think what we're probably going to do, which I know some people, a pack's not complete till you do all the quests. That's not me. I don't care. If they're designed like this with compression crafting to ridiculous amounts, even a little bit of compression crafting bugs me, but it's not that bad. I wouldn't mind it if this was like, you know, get antimatter pellets and don't give us the creative chemical tank, because then I scale out reactors and, you know, it's a little bit more interesting. Creative essence, though, is not interesting. It's just this whole process of getting this evil godforsaken thing. I hate the fact that it's used like it is. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to make the creative energy cell this episode, and then I'm going to spend this next week just wrapping up the build, because I do actually want to finish the build. I just don't care about the end game. I'm to the point I just don't care. When I first looked at the end game, I was like, oh, it's not too bad. You know, maybe I need like 15, 20,000 insanium essence. Okay, you know, I can work with that. You know, that's whatever. That's a lot of insanium essence, but it's whatever. But realizing that I need like 64 times that is just like, ugh, I don't want any part of that. So I'm going to finish out the build, get this finished up. It's basically finishing out the exterior and the basement and putting the rest of the topper on there. And then I'm going to actually build out the windmill since we're on single player. This, I was going to use creative vending upgrade to fill it out. Since we're not going to get that, I'll probably just say whatever. And then just kind of clean up everything, get the build finished up. And then that's probably going to be it for this series. Because I don't want to farm insanium for the next like month or two. So then we'll have kind of like an end of the series tour of the base, and then we're going to wrap it up, I think. So that's kind of the current plan. We got to see in game. We got to dabble in game. We did most everything required for in game. I just don't want to do the essence. I don't. If it was cobblestone, I wouldn't want to do it. I don't want to do it as essence either. Let's see. This is wrapping up. Okay, this is probably done now. Yeah, it's done. Okay, so let's take our energy cells, 22 of these, and let's put them in right here. And there we go. There is our creative power cell. Woo! Yeah, quest complete. Yeah, right there looks good. Unlimited power! Ha ha ha. So we got that out of the way. So with that, I mean, we're pretty much wrapped up in terms of progression. I did do some quick calculations, and assuming like, let's assume for a second that you're getting insanium at like 1 a second, which is pretty fast. I mean, granted, you can go faster than that, for sure. But the amount of farms that you have to get just to get 1 insanium per second is quite a bit. And assuming that you're getting 1 insanium per second, and assuming that you are keeping it at 20 TPS, you're still looking at like 90 hours of Insanium farming for the end game, which is just, it's excessive. It's so excessive. So, yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Like I said, I'm gonna work on finishing out the build, and then sometime next week, we'll come back in, take a look at the build, and do kind of a final episode. But we got a little taste of in-game. We made a few creative items, and beyond that, it's really just farming Insanium. So if you want to finish it out, to say that you finished it out, that's really all there is to it. And with that, once Stacia is finished, like next week, we will probably start up another series. I do want to get Enigmatica up and rolling again. I've kind of taken a little bit of a break from that, and the reason being I've been focused a lot on ATM, but then also focused a lot on Tails, and just trying to wrap up Stacia. I think over the next few months or so, I'm probably not going to take on more than one expert pack, for multiple reasons. First up, I'm really enjoying the 1.16 take on modded, where it's a little bit more relaxed for the most part. I mean, we'll have to wait and see how other expert packs do expert and stuff, if it's going to be another compression crafting version, or how that's going to be handled. I'm kind of curious to see how ATM 6 expert, if they intend on doing that, how that's going to shape up to be. ATM usually has you touching on a lot of different mods, and I've been enjoying ATM 6 because it's showcasing a lot of the 1.16 mods, and we can kind of focus on those and not really worry so much about mods that we've seen 100 times. I mean, we'll end up doing some of them for sure, but we've been able to focus on other mods. Of course, Rats isn't a new mod, but it does have a lot of new features since 1.12 that's been fun to play around with, albeit a little on the buggy side. So I probably won't take on more than one expert pack. And Enigmatica, we'll pick back up on it soon. Like I said, I've just been really focused on Tails, getting a lot of that stuff done. But if you're on the Discord, you have seen a lot of the new stuff. I probably will be doing another update video before too long. There's a couple videos that I do want to do. One showing off endgame, which, if you're on the Discord, you saw some aspects of that with the endgame on Tails. Of course, is not a system of compression crafting and farming the same things. It is a bit different in that you're going to be out in the world exploring a whole dimension, as well as a few other kind of in-game or late-game dimensions as part of your in-game, and one dimension that is full-on in-game. You're also crafting these massive, fairly massive. The creative engine is pretty big, but then there's other of these big, what I label engines. And like it was brought up on the Discord, it's not literal engines, not like tech engines, but that's just the name of the multi-block. So there's various different ones, and initially you're kind of taking these on as sort of speccing into something temporarily, because you're not going to want to try to craft all and build all these multi-blocks all at once. So you're like, well, what do I want to focus on? Do I want to focus on a natural engine, like a botanical engine, or do I want to focus on an eldritch engine, or do I want to focus on, for example, the sanguine engine? And each of these will kind of cover different aspects of the late game and into the end game of Tails. And so it's a bit of a process, but it's not, I've tried to make it non-repetitive, so it's not build a bunch of farms. I guess really the only compression crafting within Tails is kind of an Easter egg joke quest related to compression crafting, and that's about it. So I've tried to develop something that's different and new as far as the end game goes. So probably be a video before too long kind of showcasing that, as well as the Thaumcraft aspect system, since that's a lot different within Tails, I think. And I don't know, probably showcasing a bit of other assorted things. I also want to do a video pretty soon on actually what happens when you start Tails, because it's a lot different than most packs in that you don't just fall into the world and it's like, here you go. I've made kind of what I think a pretty unique intro segment to the pack. Not like super long, but it does evolve then on as you progress in the pack, because you kind of get this steadily increasing in size hub sort of area, where you can do your shopping. If you saw the earlier versions of Tales, where I had the little village, that's been wiped out. I get questions about that a lot. That's gone. And instead, you have this kind of hub that kind of has a storyline that it keeps expanding. And eventually, once you reach the late game / end game of the pack, it also opens up into your end game. So, kind of goes with the story and everything. Of course, light story within Tales, not really heavy-handed story, more lore and stuff like that. So, yeah, I've been focusing a lot of my time on that. I don't want to take on too much because then I end up getting pulled away from Tales. ATM has been a great pack for me for Tales work because it's been kind of lax. I can kind of pop on there, hang out. It's really a relaxing pack. And I've actually really enjoyed it. And I hope 1.16, I hope as far as modded goes, because, we haven't seen a lot of new tech mods. We've seen a lot of magic and we've seen a lot of world mods and kind of immersion mods. And I'm really hoping that's the direction 1.16 goes, is more on immersion and world and kind of you physically doing something instead of just so much just automating these things. Because that's, I think, what leads to a lot of pack burnout for people, myself included. It's just automating things and standing inside of a base. It's nice for building time, but it's not nice for like world immersion. So I am hoping that 1.16 kind of takes that direction in terms of what mods we see and stuff. Now, also, just a really quick mention, I've had the question about 7 or 8 times this week, as well as a bit at the end of last week, about Divine Journey 2, because that is coming out in, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, something like that. If I was going to be playing it, since I did play the first one, I enjoyed the first one all right. It's not a pack I would really ever plan to go back to. I've thought about it a couple times, and then I've realized, no, I don't really want to do that. The answer is probably no. Possibly yes, but probably no, because I think I like where 1.16 is. I like the 1.16 packs. They don't have to be expert. They can just be immersive and fun and enjoyable and kind of bring you back to that Minecraft feeling. 1.12 tech packs, they've been done so many times. And I've been through so many 1.12 tech packs that it's like I don't really want to go through another 1.12 tech pack. And there's so many dimension recolors with Divine RPG and Galacticraft, so probably not. There might be a patron server for Divine Journey too. I know Severe brought it up. But me personally, I just don't think I have the drive to want to play another tech slog for 1.12. So probably focus on ATM, probably get back on Enigmatica and do some building on there, because that pack I enjoy because it's just more kind of open and we just build mostly and just do setups on there. And then once Tales is ready to kind of go into alpha / beta, I want to be playing and recording on that. That'll be my expert pack. And it's pretty much full automation with mainly magic mods. Tech is pretty much Pyrotech, Mystical Mechanics, Crossroads, Prodigy Tech, and if you want to count Embers, if you want to count Botania, stuff like that, then maybe. Aetherworks, stuff like that. But you are doing your automation full on with magic. So I will be playing that because, as Issa said on the Discord the other day, Tales has been my baby. It's been in development for like 2 years. Of course, I can't focus completely on its development because I have series and building and stuff like that to do. And there's a lot of stuff that's went into Tales, like custom enchanting, customized Thaumcraft, a lot of structures, combat overhauls and tweaks, custom boss fights. Once it's out, it's going to be something hopefully unique that'll be kind of memorable as far as a pack goes. And of course, it's my first pack, so I've been learning a lot. But yeah, so I'll quit rambling. Like I said, I'll probably end up doing a video where I just ramble and talk about some things before too long. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. And until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.